Lines and angles. If you struggle with the vocabulary, the last chapter, you have to go back and learn the vocabulary last chapter. We do not stop using that. It's not something that we're just using the EOC. Those vocabulary terms we use in your pocket class, not your in your backpack, not your pocket. Phone's supposed to go in the backpack, not the pocket, right, guys?
Backpack, no pocket.
All right. Okay, let's see if we can get it clear. All right, so you guys learned about parallel lines, middle school. What do you know about parallel lines? Kyle?
They never cross paths.
Never cross, is that what you said, Tamari? What else do we know? In algebra, you learned something about the slopes of parallel lines.
Positive answer, so.
No? What do you know? So that is the slope of a line is positive, negative. Could also be 0 or undefined, right? But that's not parallel, right? What do you think, Molly? Parallel line, any no line ever ends, right? Oh, that's an irrational number?
No.
I'm sorry, a rational number, because I don't think you were just right.
No, I'm not talking about that. 3.14. What's the answer? What is it called? You know what I'm talking about? It's not rational. No.
Oh, so your format is slopes. I think that's what Anthony was referencing. I asked, what do we know about the slopes of parallel lines? And Anthony said positive, negative, and slanted, which both of those would be slanted, right? So positive, negative, 0 slope, or undefined slope. So remember, positive slope goes up from left to right, and negative slope goes down from left to right. 0 slope is flat, and undefined slope is straight up and down, right? So there's none of those are what we're asking, what I asked about. I asked, what do we know? What did you learn last year about the slopes of parallel lines? They don't intersect, they can't be parallel if they intersect, right? They have to be the same. Because remember, the slope of a line is the angle it's going up or down, right? So they have to be the same. All right, so for our purposes, though, there's two important things. They can never touch, which means they're going to stay the same distance apart, and they have to be in the same plane. They have to be coplanar. We are going to assume if they draw lines like this, they are coplanar. We are going to assume if they draw lines in separate little parallelograms, they are not coplanar. They're not in the same plane. Can you put your Chromebook for me? Thank you. So an important thing to add to your notes, don't leave it out. If you leave things out of your notes, I don't give you credit. One thing not in it, you get a 0. There's no partial credit for notes. We talked about in the very first day of class. So what does this symbol mean here? The definition of parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. This statement says line JK is parallel to line JM. I talked about that. Don't do it. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So this little symbol here means, if you read it, is parallel to. So put that in your notes. Sorry? When I write it, it looks like an 11, but when you see it typed here, you can see it's not an 11, right? 2 vertical lines. And when you see that in a statement, you read it, is parallel to. So this statement says line JK is parallel to line LM. Q lines. Q lines are not in the same plane, and they do not intersect. So lines that do not intersect and are not coplanar. They've shown us here that are in different planes. the line in plane A is line B, the line in plane B is line C. We would say line B and line C, which for some reason is not there, are skew lines. Parallel planes, they never intersect. Parallel planes are planes that do not intersect. So plane A, plane B, plane A is parallel to plane B. That's why I made sure you wrote that, because you have to be able to read that statement. You have that statement in your homework. So they're indicating here because they're not touching in the diagram that they're parallel. Remember planes, we had a diagram in our test, and then if they intersect like this, and if they're going like this or like this, they would not be parallel. Make sense? You don't have to write the bottom part. I just a few other pictures. Reminders. Parallel lines stay the same distance, so we kind of said that. Intersecting lines crosses in one point. Perpendicular lines intersect and form right angles. That little square. How many degrees are in a right angle? 90 degrees. And this is an example of skew lines that are on different planes. They do not intersect. So this picture is just turned a little bit differently, but they're showing the same thing. It looks kind of like this one is going through the plane, right? But remember, if this were going through the plane, this part would be dotted, right? All right. So we use 3D figures. This is a rectangular prism or cube specifically here. We use the size of this cube to represent planes. So this top of this cube, and we could say that the top of this cube lies in plane BAC. Remember, we name a plane by any 3 non-collinear points. So the top and the bottom represent planes. The two ends represent different planes. The front and back represent different planes.
Student sources, they just asked me some questions, came over to the office.
That's okay.
And came back over to the attendance. So.
Okay. Have a seat, grab your notes and stuff. You can pick up where we are, Sienna, and then you can use the video to finish them up at home. Well, I'll have to turn it for you, but not to remind me.
All right.
Okay.
Also, I'm sorry that I met you yesterday.
That's okay. All right. We're on example 1. All segments that are parallel to line EH. So the trick is here is a pretty straightforward as far as what we normally think of parallel, but we have to be thinking about coplanar here. We have to be thinking about them being in the same plane. So let's make a note up here, must be coplanar. So this, we're putting a little star or something, and we're writing must be coplanar. So we're looking at line EH. These technically are lines, right? These are the edges. These are where two sides meet. The line segment, maybe. But we're talking about the line that goes through that segment, or the line that that segment lies on. So in this case, we're talking about EH. So the segments, all the line segments that are parallel to this, it has to be in the same plane. So EH is only in this end and the bottom, right? So EH is going to be parallel to GF, and it can be parallel to, EH is parallel to CD. Does that make sense? Looks like it's parallel here too, right? But the problem is they're not in the same plane. EH lies in this plane, and it lies in this plane.
Is GF a coplanar to HE?
Yes.
That makes sense. GF is coplanar.
Okay.
No, but that was.
I don't know.
Okay. So the segments that are parallel to line EH are going to be GF, so segment GF, and segment CD.
Can't you just move a little bit? No.
What do you mean move it?
Was there nothing under the box that you're writing on?
I was going to cut one around when I was not. There was one that wasn't right.
What is the line supposed to be?
These segments.
Okay. CP? I thought it meant
CD.
No, GF. GF. No, so that's segment GF. Don't write this. This is line GF. Right?
Oh.
Remember we learned that in the last unit, the last chapter?
Yeah.
Okay. Line segments that are skewed to line BC, they don't intersect, and they're not in the same plane.
Isn't that AD?
Yes, CD.
Okay.
So the segment CD. All right, so all segments that are skewed to line BC. So skewed to line BC, so let's mark BC. So this is BC, so it can't be in the same plane, and it can't intersect, right? So looking at your definition, it can't be antidistinguished because AD is in the same plane as BC.
Oh.
Right, it's going to be non-coplanar, so how we did it for me? Non-coplanar, and they can't intersect.
So
So FA is going to extend this way, right? It's never going to intersect BC, and then they're not in the same plane.
Yeah. That means that all. Yeah.
Federal agent, here we go. DE is DE. You can see the DE also goes up and down, right? It's not going to intersect with BC, and it's not in the same plane. Yes, try the last one, Chris.
Delaware?
Not Delaware. No Delaware. So Federal agent and Delaware are both skewed to BC. Chris?
Yes.
Houston, Carolina.
So EF is EF in the same plane, so that's the question.
Houston,
This plane
Carolina.
and this plane, yeah, EF would be one, too. I have FG on here. Kyle, that's enough. Anthony, that's enough. I hope so, but I'm about to get really strict with that, and I know you know what I'm talking about. There's lots of funny things. Just make sure we're being kind.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
All right. All planes parallel to line BCH. Or sorry, plane BCH. So remember, any plane gets named by 3 points in the plane. The fourth one, it doesn't have to be in there. So BCH. So this is plane BCH, right? BCH. We could have named this plane as EHC. We could have named this plane as CDE, right? You can name them different ways. So the plane that's parallel, so
ABG?
yes, ABG. All right. Oh, you could name that. You could write it ABF. The ABCs are correct as well.
Isn't there another one?
Could you name another one that's parallel?
No, on B.
Yeah, there are more. I'm not gonna name them all. We named one more. I forget now. But we're gonna move on. So I'm trying to get a little time to do your homework. And this is the part I really want to talk to you about. So this is what we were talking about. Problem number 1 in your homework yesterday. Kind of taking it over into today's lesson, right? So there's 2 lines, and those 2 lines are being crossed by a third line. So line A and line B are being crossed by line T. Does that make sense, everyone? Anytime you have 2 lines with a third line crossing them like this, they always create this angle, like we talked about at the end of our review. Draw up your eyes for me, bud. Everybody sitting up tall, McKinley, look up here with me. Charlotte, it's not that funny, buddy. All right. So we learned about interior and exterior, things that are the interior of an angle angle and the exterior of an angle. Now we're going to be talking about the interior angles in this diagram and some exterior angles in this diagram. I just told you what interior, exterior. I'm just wondering if anybody could tell me, looking at these four angles, would you think they're going to be interior or exterior? Anthony, don't throw that when you raise your hand. That you're saying, I want to answer, and I multiple people raise their hands, so I called on one, so they get the answer, Anthony.
I believe that they are exterior because they are actually exterior.
They are exterior to the what's in between these two lines, right? They're on the outside of this line and outside the other side.
Yes.
So that's going to make these angles, you'll notice, all lie within the two lines that are being crossed. That makes these four angles interior angles. And it's important that you can distinguish the exterior angles created by the transversal and the interior angles between these two lines. What's that? Yeah, right this second. And it's loud. Okay. Moving on. So now, oh, my bad. That's the transversal. I said it, but I forgot that entire rest. Oh, and we're going to circle this T. Thanks, Al. And point it to transversal because we're going to remind ourselves that in this diagram, the T is the transversal. We're not always going to be so helpful with the T, the transversal. You have to be able to recognize that and which line is the transversal in the diagram. Okay. Alternate interior angles. So, interior, we said, are these angles, right? Alternate means opposite, basically. And when we're talking about opposite, we're talking about opposite sides of the transversal. So 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all interior angles. 3 and 6 are on opposite sides of the transversal. 5 and 4 are on opposite sides of the transversal. So the definition is two interior angles on opposite sides of the transversal, and they cannot be adjacent. So 3 and 4 are not alternate interior angles. 5 and 6 are not alternate interior angles. But angle 3 and 6, that we just talked about, and angle 4 and 5 are. So this is some tricky vocabulary, but there are clues here in the names of the angles. For instance, interior. Both of these angles were interior. So if the name has interior in it, both of those angles will be interior. In this example, alternate exterior angles, both of those angles are going to be exterior. Okay, we're going to have a pair of angles that don't tell us interior or exterior. And then we'll know them, but that's going to be one of each. But for now, we're going to go over alternate interior. Kyle, do you have a question?
So adjacent and straight across.
Adjacent means to share a side. Remember, if we're adjacent to Mr. Henley's room and the bathroom, remember we talked about that for angles to share a side.
So could it not be 3 and 4 opposites?
No, because they are adjacent. 3 and 4 is adjacent. 5 and 6 share a side. It can be non-adjacent. Okay. Alternate exterior angles to exterior angles on opposite sides of the transversal. If you can remember that alternate means opposite, and we have to know that means opposite sides of the transversal. You okay? So we're looking at only the exterior angles 7 and 8, 1 and 2, and they're going to be opposite sides of the transversal. So, can you give me a pair of alternate exterior angles, Charlie? All right, so let's look at angle 1. Is that exterior?
Yep.
Okay, so we need another exterior angle that's on the opposite side. 8, very good. 1 and 8. Not 1 and 6, because 6 is interior, right? Yeah. Exterior means they both have to be exterior. So here we go, 1 and 8, like Charlene said. 2 and 7 are the other pair that are created by the transversal on this diagram. How?
Is there such thing as like an interior and exterior? So like 6 and 7?
one will be exterior. Yeah, that's what we're about to talk about one. I'm not sure that's what you meant, we're gonna go with that.
It might, you might.
Corresponding angles, Anthony? Sweet grief. Stop. Alright, corresponding angle. So this word corresponding is a little bit confusing, so I'm just covering up the, uncovering the definition. Remember, it doesn't have the word interior, exterior in it. We've been talking about that. If it doesn't have interior, exterior in it, then it's going to be one of each. So one interior and one exterior. Alternate means opposite. Corresponding is going to mean same side of the transversal. Unfortunately, consecutive also means same side. I don't know why we can't use the same word, but we can because that's not how they named it. So one interior, one exterior on the same side of the transversal, not adjacent. They can't share a side. So let's do this. Pick an interior angle. Justine, can you give me an interior angle? 6. All right, so now we want an exterior angle on the opposite side of the transversal. What do you think, Andre? So this is an interior angle. Corresponding angles, one on inside and one outside. One interior, one exterior, right? And they're going to be on the same side of the transversal. The same side of this line T. God, what are you laughing at, buddy? You're being instructed. So 7 is external. But it's not on the same side of the transversal, right? It's on the opposite side. So 6 and 4 are on the same side, but 4 is an interior, right? We're letting Andre do it, right? We're not going to blur it out. So internal on this side. So this one is external. 8 is external, right? But it shears the side, so that one can't be it because it says it's not adjacent. So it can't be 6 and 4. So that 4 angles on the same side of the transversal are 2, 4, 6, and 8. Not supposed to be blurred out. Andre and I are doing it right now. 6 and 8 are on the same side, but they share a side, right? Isn't this one exterior? Okay, so remember, exterior means on the outside of these two lines, right? This line and this line. These 4 are interior. These 4 are exterior. Y'all have to stop snickering about things.
Alright. We also get that.
No, you do not all.
Yeah.
So you're being instructed right now. You're being instructed right now. I can handle a little bit of redirecting, but what I'm not going to handle anymore is people being disrespectful to other people. So we're nipping that right now. I'm done with it. I'm done with you snickering when somebody doesn't answer a question that you think you know the answer to or act like you know the answer to. I'm done with it. I don't think you mean any serious harm, but sometimes it's hard for other people to answer questions in front of a group of people, and I'm done with you guys making it harder for them. I'm going to have you removed. So no more snickering over stuff like that. So go ahead and let's go in our examples of corresponding angles. There are more than this, but we're going to go with angle 1 and angle 5. 5 is interior, 1 is exterior. So the same side of the transversal. Angle 3 and angle 7. This one's interior, this one's exterior, and the same side of the transversal. Kyle?
Instead of saying angle
Sorry?
1, instead of saying angle 1 and angle 5, would it say angle 5?
Sure.
Okay.
Nope. No, that would be the same here. Now, we also have corresponding angle 6 and angle 2, which we talked about with Andre, and angle 4 and angle 8. As long as one is interior and one is exterior. Trust, do you need to stand up? You're so tired. I was standing just back there with you ready for that. Might help you stay awake. You gotta stay awake then. All right, consecutive or same they will call them same side interior angles, and that is helpful. But sometimes you will see that it's consecutive, and you have to know that that means that they're on the same side. But they don't always word it that way. They're both interior. So don't get your feelings hurt when I ask someone to come get you guys. I'm just letting you know. Same side interior angle, that means both of them have to be interior, and they're going to be on the same side of the transversal. Transversal crosses the two other lines. The interior angles are the ones that fall what we would call in between the two lines. Exterior angles, there's two on the outside of one line, two on the outside of the other line. Right now there are two interiors. Remember, it's got the word interior here, so they both have to be interior. So the interior angles 3, 4, 5, and 6. What do you think is a pair of interior angles, Lee? Sorry, consecutive interior angles. So two interior angles on the same side of the transversal. 6 and 4, perfect.
Nice.
Another one, Anthony, do you want to give me the other one?
5 and 3.
Perfect, 5 and 3.
Three and
Everybody go ahead and write those?
No, 5 and 2.
5 and 3, 3 and 5, you can, the order doesn't matter. You gotta use these words in the title as your clues to what they're talking about. Alright, so this is an example of how we're going to have to know these things, given a diagram. What is the transversal? Don't run out. What is the transversal in this diagram, Yuri? What is the transversal in example 2 here? Well, let's look and see. That by definition, we said that a transversal is a line that crosses two other lines. Okay, so which of those lines is the transversal in example 2? It's also on your paper. Carly? Okay. Alright, Yuri, look up your bed. This line and this line being crossed by this line, right? Line, is that E or C?
That would be E.
Line E and line F being crossed by line F. Okay, that makes line F. The crossing line is the transversal. Okay? So alternate interior angles, remember alternate means opposite, interior means they both have to be inside. What are the 4 angles that are inside angles here, Tam? What are the interior angles in that diagram? 2, 3, 6, and 7, right. So now we want opposite interior, alternate interior angles. So give me a pair of alternate interior angles, Leah. Pair of alternate interior angles. 2 and 7. What's another pair, Kendall? Alternate interior. So opposite interior angles. She gave, which one did she give Leah? 2 and 7. 3 and 6. So it's got the word exterior in the name, so that means both of the angles have to be exterior. The exterior angles are which angles? Lennon, which angles in this diagram are exterior angles? Perfect. 1, 5, 4, and 8 are exterior angles. So what are, give me a pair of alternate exterior angles. Jasmine, can you give me a pair of alternate exterior angles? They both have to be exterior. And alternate means opposite, right? So exterior, 1 and 5, 4, and 8. So let's pick angle 1. That's an exterior, right? And we said it's got to be alternate, which means on the opposite side of the transversal. So it can't be 4, right? So what's it got to be? Not 2. Anthony?
1 and 8.
1 and 8.
4 and 5. And then
4 and 5. Emmanuel?
Who got it right? Those names.
Yes. You have to write the angle symbol.
Or you'll mark it wrong.
Yep. List all corresponding angles. So the hint here is there's no word interior exterior, right? So we have to know that means it's going to be what? Jamari? What does no interior exterior tell us it's going to be true about our angle pair? Yes, very good. The happy one of each. It doesn't tell us if they're both exterior. It doesn't tell us if they're both interior. Carlos?
6 and 4.
6 and corresponding. Close, but corresponding. You forgot what corresponding meant. Chris? Yes. Corresponding same side. Good try though. You want to do another one? I'm not sure if I have that. I'll go ahead and do it again.
And then I was thinking maybe like 4 and 2.
Yes.
Yep.
4 and 2.
Nice.
Kyle?
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Got the wrong. My God.
What do you think, Michaela? Can you think of another one? I think they said 4 and 2, same thing. Tiana? No, 6 and 4 aren't the same side. 5 and 8. 5 and 8. Those are both exterior. 5 and 7 would work best.
Okay.
And we're going to just go ahead and write them down now.
I put 4 and 2 and 8 and 6. Is that okay? Or do you want me to?
4 and 2, 8
I
We're
said-
putting all of them. We're putting all of them.
Oh, boy.
So make sure you're using your notes on this assignment tonight. All consecutive. So corresponding and consecutive both mean same side. That's kind of hard to remember. So here it doesn't say consecutive same side interiors. It just says consecutive. We have to remember that corresponding and consecutive both mean same side of the transversal. Alternate means opposite side of the transversal. So what are they? Give me one pair of consecutive interior angles. Tiana?
2 and 6.
No, they can't be adjacent. That's the other trick. Michaela? 2 and 3. Yes. What do you think, Dominic? What's another pair?
6 and 7.
6 and 7.
6, 7.
Can't answer every time. I'm glad you're raising your hand now.
Then it's only one.
I don't think that's true. It's recorded, so I think we'll know.
All right. You can hear everything.
All right. Supplementary, we didn't talk about in this lesson. Face them that way. We didn't talk about supplementary in this lesson. We don't have any angle measures here. So how would we know if a pair of lines, angles, are supplementary? Charlie? The line in the middle is creating the intersection of the line with the other two lines is creating supplementary angles. Give me a pair. Go ahead.
5 and 6.
5 and 6. So remember, what is angle 5 and 6? What kind of pair are angle 5 and 6? Our supplementary angles is a special pair. What do we call them? Linear pair. Very good, Carla. Angle 5 and angle 6. They share that side right here, and the sides that they don't share form a line. That's where we get the linear pair from. The root word line and linear pair. The sides that they don't share for the line. So see if you can see another pair of linear angles there. Mrs. Zimmerman. Okay. Thanks. Bye. Kimberly, you're being signed out. We're about to uncover these. If you want to wait, then you also watch the video. How timely your departure needs to be. Sienna?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. What do you think? Who am I not talking to? Emmanuel, give me one. Here. So they said 3 and 4. They said 5 and 6. Shiraz? Oh, you're right. 1 and 2. Go ahead, Shiraz. 7 and 8. So linear pair. They share a side, and the sides that they don't share form a line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. What is it?
Yeah.
No.
Use your figure notes.
Okay.
again, Carolyn? Oh, you're right. This is a lot. That's a whole lot. I just did them over, that's the rule. Whatever I uncover, you write down. It looks like I'm a math teacher that can't count. I'm okay with that. We're just gonna put all of them there so you have an example of all of them.
But you saw.
All in one
You got it.
That's on any girl.
Tyler's scanning and submitting this. I encourage you to scan and submit yours. One last thing to worry about this weekend. We're not packing up at that point. We will be working on our review worksheet. Our assignment for tonight, for today in class, to finish for homework. Anybody need to go back to a screen? Rod? Oh my goodness, you're so tired today, buddy. Yeah. So were you asking me to go there? Oh, there it was. Emmanuel, that's the same thing you needed, right?
Why does your door close tomorrow?
Because the only option they said is it's either going to slam or it doesn't close, and it's a safety issue. My door has to close and lock when somebody comes in and out of it.